I'm actually out of Bang, and then I still had that weird swirly pop in the fridge, and I was like, you know what, screw it, I need it, I gotta have it. And I was like, but this has been in here for a minute, so I look under it, and it says Best By March 21st. I was like,
expiration?
I didn't either, but I mean, I guess because I never leave them in the fridge long enough to think about that.
Are you going raw with no caffeine?
I asked Danny if she would make me some coffee, so she'll probably hook it up.
Okay. I was going to say, I don't know how you do it.
How much sleep do you get?
Yeah, I'll talk about it later. I rewatched the Rockets game this morning. It's too important. I had to know every detail.
I think I got a solid 4.5 hours. Had some steaks in the middle of the night. I don't know what I did, but I was like burning the outside, but the inside was undercooked. I was using George Foreman grill. I don't know. Only I can mess up a George Foreman grill. I don't know how.
You just plug and play.
Yeah, no, that's literally what I did. But I think I maybe had it uneven. I don't know. The bottom was burning, the top was not. It was complete chaos. But what can you do? Fire. Oh yeah. What's up, guys? Happy Friday. It's the end of the week, and what a week it is, and what a slate it's shaping up to be. You would think this is the last one or two games of the season. We got a couple full-on punt games tonight. Teams like the Bucks and the Clippers on night two of a back-to-back. Both those teams cruising to the playoffs, so they're going to be pretty mindful with their load management and their rest, and that's exactly what's happening tonight, which will definitely impact the DFS slate, but it's not insignificant for the DFS for the prop slate. So we're going to kind of breeze through game by game. I bought us an extra up to 30 minutes if we need it, Josh. So we'll do our best to attack what we need to attack. Because I'll be honest, I think the DFS slate is going to be pretty straightforward because it's a salary-based game, and we're just going to grab all the value, play Luka, play Jokic, play the studs, play Rockets, play Kings, stuff like that. So we're definitely going to try and find the best plays here. We are live on YouTube, and we're presented by ODDSJAM. I know you guys have seen me talk about ODDSJAM. Use some ODDSJAM on the channel for prop betting. I think it's a pretty cool companion tool to what we'll be looking at. So while we're talking some props throughout the stream, I'll bounce back and forth between ODDSJAM, show you guys how really cool a tool like this can be to hammer down, think about some props, and then how to how to prepare. Babe, you all right? I just heard like a crash in the other room. I'm hoping she didn't fall. So yeah, we'll bounce back and forth between the two here. But let's open up the spreadsheet itself and talk about some of the games that we will be targeting throughout the night. First of all, there's so many games tonight that we probably aren't going to stop at every game, but I'll ask you, Josh, lightly, but hey, we got something from this game to talk about, and so on and so forth. Because there are some tank teams like the Magic that probably find themselves as a team that we don't want to target, and then we'll go from there. But before we do that, Josh, I think we should talk about your night last night. I just think chat. I think we have to, and I sometimes relishing in the L's, we want to get those vibes behind us, but every now and then you see some bad beats, and you gotta laugh. But let me take you back to the RunDFS.com pre-lock voice chat, right? Every day before lock, we're in there 2 hours before, throughout the night, talking plays, talking movement, stuff like that. And we were complaining all day that anything we were on was instantly getting buffed, right? Lines would go up. So we're in there before lock, and your boy Josh, he's got a 4-pick power card cooked up, $500 to win $5K. And what was the picks on it? It was Andre Drummond over 30 fantasy points.
Yeah.
It was one of the bigger contrasts in my projections to theirs. Paul George over 4.5 assists.
Yeah.
And Drew Holiday over 38 fantasy points. And Kevin Durant over 50 fantasy points.
That was the original.
That was the original, yes. Yeah. Josh has all this loaded up. Submit. Projections have changed. Oh. So what are the new projections? Well, Kevin Durant goes from 50 fantasy points to 51. And Josh, he says the line that I might never forget. He goes, "It's just 1 point. I'll still do it." And I go, "Oh, no." And Quinn, our boy Quinn, you see him on the show on Mondays, he goes, "Don't say that." Guys, look at this. Look at this. Kevin Durant finishes with 50.9 fantasy points.
And he missed the last shot. It almost went in.
1/10 of a point separated Josh for one a push. 2/10 of a point separated Josh from 5K. Heck, 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes separated Josh from 5K if he would have just submitted this card a little earlier. I mean, this one is in the Hall of Fame of bad beats in our community, man. This one's a tough one. I missed out on 100K in December when I swapped Carmelo for somebody for Bojan Bogdanovic on a slate. But that one didn't sting as bad because you don't see the point differential, right? It's all right. I finished 20-30.1. Ooh.
I mean, it was just like that the whole day yesterday. We were speaking things into existence. I joked about Bruce Brown. I was like, watch him go off. He tends to do this in these smaller slates when no one's on him. And I was like, watch, he'll end up getting fourth quarter run and close. Exact thing happened. And then there was something else besides that. Me saying one fantasy point won't matter. It's KD and he's going to play 40-plus minutes, and he did. He played 45 minutes. We spoke a lot of things. Oh, and we also said, he better not pull Cat, which Cat yesterday had 7 turnovers. It made him fall under his prop line. And Katie, he had 6 turnovers. And so we spoke that one into existence as well. I don't believe in curses. Everything's just probability. Maybe yesterday would change my mind.
I mean,
I'm not going to say anything else today.
So us gamblers, right? We're a superstitious breed.
Yes.
When you said that, my eyes lit up. And so back in my prison days, right, when one of my offers would say, "Boy, Sarge, it sure is quiet," and I would my head would spin 360 like I was a friggin' owl, because putting those words out there, it's about to go down now. That's what you did when you said it's just 1 point. What's the worst? Oh my gosh, bro. But it do be like that sometimes, and
No,
you gotta suck it up. Gotta suck it up, Buttercup.
No, I mean we got a real tight knit crew, and that got me through the pain, and because I mean you feel real lonely and despair when you're looking at that, just staring at that card, and just maybe hoping for a stat correction that's never gonna come. But yeah, I mean guys like Quinn, hit me up, and Logan was there, and we were talking in live chat, so it's all good. Today's a new day.
It's a new day. Yes, it is. It's a new day. What's up, chat? Shout out to the live chat, man. Hopefully you guys did not go through some of this. But what I would say is, hearing this story, this testimony, would it help you, Josh, if everyone just hit that thumbs up?
Yeah.
Guys, I feel like we owe it to Josh to hit the thumbs up button. So, ooh. Shout out to the live chat. Hey, shout out to Jason Robinson. Joined the channel as a channel member, I guess while we were offline, is a baller. So I appreciate that. When the channel members become members here on this channel, it's $5 a month for the bottom level. If you guys do that, make sure you get in the free Discord, link your YouTube account with your Discord account. We have a members only channel. Right now there's only 5 of you guys in that. But a couple times a week, we've been dropping the full prop detector that's behind the paywall at rundfs.com. So, I just appreciate anyone that takes the time to become a channel member. But secondly, I try to give back a little bit, and that's one of the things. The other thing is I'm going to try to re-record a series I did a year or two ago about MLB. And then maybe instead of dropping 5, 6, 7 videos at once on the channel, YouTube's algorithm will just bottleneck them. I might release them all at once to members and drop them one by one to the public. So maybe look out for that. Shout out to Matthew, Skimmer, Eric in the chat, Rich Homie Quinn. There's Jason Robinson. Got that fancy purple G next to him now. Paul Whitlock says, "What's really good, Dak? Let's go. Scared money don't make money." I'm with that. If I may quote Thomas Jefferson, yeah. I'm pretty sure that was a Thomas Jefferson thing. Yeah. No, it checks out. Neville in the chat. Riley in the chat. Robert Bickerstaff. Call me crazy, but I'm leaning cat under 100 3-pointers on Underdog. Is that like one of their promo things? I haven't tried Underdog yet. Underrated World says, "This is easily the best show covering NBA props on YouTube or anywhere." Actually, hey man, I appreciate that. We definitely take pride. We were talking about this a little bit last night while I was playing MLB The Show 22 on twitch.tv/Gundecker99. That you definitely, we could just say 5 props and get off the air, right? But we definitely have appreciation for the process behind it and explaining stuff, and we really try to stay away from leaning only, oh, this guy's done this in 5 of the last 7. That's not really a predictive analytic. That's more of a results based, and those of you that play MLB DFS understand the difference between predictive and results based. So we kind of look at why this has happened, who's off, what kind of plays are they running. You see Josh always talking about different schemes that teams have been trying out. The high post is something we've talked about, Porzingis with Tobias Harris, and stuff like that. So definitely put a little bit more analysis behind it, and it's a little bit more long form content. But hey, what are you gonna do?
But it's fun though. I mean, we're actually prop mining together, me and you, on live air. But yeah, the chat's not here with us, but they might as well be sitting going through the process with us. We're doing this together, so it's fun.
It is fun. What up, Chris Smith, Mock Wall, Jeff B? Katie was originally at 49. Yeah, there was a lot of lines that shot up throughout the day yesterday, 100%. 10K dream today. Yeah, hey, Vince, you're right. We hit 7K yesterday. It's a new month, so now we got to set some goals here. I was thinking of being modest and going for 6,500. I feel like 1,000 in a month is just probably a very ambitious goal. It would probably, it would be 250 subs a week. We're not really getting subs like that. So I was thinking maybe 6,500 would be a little bit more realistic, but we'll see. Chris Tipper said missed 5K on Drummond, rebounds by half. That sucks, man. All right, so let's get into the slate here. Remember, chat, I did buy us a little extra time on this stream. So if you are here for the DFS stream too, that's cool too. Just know that that's going to be probably closer to 3:30 Eastern than 3. We're going to need some time. We're going to need it. All right, so Raptors at the Magic is the first game on the docket. The Raptors are 11-point favorites here. We're kind of hit the cancel button on the Magic, I think, me and you. Unless we get to some first half props or something like that. It's really just a team that is playing a little bit of everybody right now. The other night we saw Robin Lopez check into the game. We're like, oh, okay, we're doing that now. Okay, cool.
It's his birthday today. Shout out to him and his brother.
His brother got the night off, so maybe he'll join.
Early celebration for him.
Yeah, and then the Raptors. I know on the stream this morning you were mentioning a little narrative behind Scotty Barnes coming back to Orlando. But is there any actionable leans that you have on this game, or is this kind of not on the list today?
I mean, so if you're playing some first half cards, Siakam and Scotty could be in play. I think they're playing close to 20 minutes lately. So the only issue is that you got OG in the mix now. I mean, they're fully healthy, and you're cutting it in half. So
yeah,
if one of them gets hot, that could really burn you. But it is a great matchup for him.
Okay. I would say, I also don't feel like I'm gonna get to some Raptors at a big deal today. So if we can circle them to fringe props, I'm cool with that. Yeah. Mavericks at the Wizards. Little revenge, looking for revenge. We got Luka versus Porzingis. Let me pull up the conference war, by the way. The Mavericks in the Western Conference are nestled in to the 3 spot. They are tied with the Warriors in wins, and technically they could fall outside that top 4 and lose home court advantage in the first series or two to the Jazz and to the Nuggets, who play tonight as well. So the Mavericks are looking to win. They have motivation to win. And then mathematically, I think the Wizards still have a chip in a chair. Don't quote me on that. 7 games out. They actually might be eliminated. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think they're eliminated. But they have been finding a groove here with Porzingis lately. Satoransky playing a little bit more traditional point guard. It's an 8.5-point spread in favor of the Dallas Mavericks. Within single digits on a slate like this is going to have so much value. I'm going to load up on Luka for DFS. For the prop betting world, I imagine he's already going to be priced at an extravagant rate because his last couple games have been big. So we might stay away from the huge studs tonight and look for inefficiencies from the smaller guys. But looking at the Wizards side, one of the lines we were looking for was a Satoransky assist line because of how he has been playing more traditional point guard stuff. And heck, he doubled in the last game with no points. Like, he was just
4 shots.
Yeah,
you could take the under on his points too.
6.5, right? But they gave us a assist line at 6. And
yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, so we pull up the Wizards on-off court tool here. We'll do 2 things. One, I'm going to put a Sato on the court with Porzingis. And you were watching some Wizards game film this morning, and what were you finding? Like, Sato's just literally not looking to shoot, right?
He's not looking at the basket at all. He's just dribbling around the top, and going back and forth and trying to create space so he can dish it out to the corner 3, or there's somebody setting a screen on the pick and roll or a cutter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's not even looking at the basket to score.
Yeah, so since the All-Star break, his assist rate has hit 34%. And you're seeing it in his lines here. So what I'll do is, chat, remember the stream brought to you by ODDSJAM. We're going to pull up ODDSJAM, and we're going to see what the books are offering Satoransky's assist line at. And if you guys want to do this on your own, there's a link in the description below. You guys can get signed up. There's a lot of stuff on ODDSJAM is free. The bet tracker's free, that type of stuff. If you are maybe in an area that is transitioning from DFS or about to get rid of PrizePicks in i.e. Ontario, and you want to make a move to the books, this site is a huge help. So looking at Sadarinsky, right now you can find some of his assist lines at 5.5 with the juice on the over. So I do think the books generally will get to 6 before long. PrizePicks got there before everyone else. But yes, there is already action from the field supporting the Sadarinsky 6 or greater than 6. So I do like the thought of that.
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
What up? Got some interesting news. The Lack versus Mill game. Both teams are sitting starters.
Yeah, Chris, that game's going to be a honey hole for DFS. I'll say that. But for I don't know that we'll get many props for that. I guess we'll keep an eye on that, right, Josh? The Clippers and the Milwaukee game. It's gonna be the backups of the backups, and I think we saw that the Clippers might have 8 active only. And that reminds me of when Jake won 100K by playing Terrence Mann. It's like he can run it back today. So Sato over assists is looking good. Something that our research is leaning us toward. Yeah. The other line that the public has for assist is Porzingis at 3.5. There's juice on the under, but you were talking about his high post play, the pick and roll that they've been running a lot.
I mean, he's a centerpiece in the high post. He is a centerpiece of the offense, and everything runs through him. So.
Yeah, well, when he's on the court with Sadarinsky, his assist rate's at 26%. So not like 30+% or 40, but 26% is still pretty decent to maybe look for 4 of them. On PrizePicks, his line for assist is not posted. So I guess look out for that. The books have the line at 3.5, and it is actually juiced to the under, Josh, like heavily juiced to the under. So if it did hit PrizePicks, it could be 3 or 2.5. And you think we might be on the over, despite the field being heavily on the under. So, the public is often wrong. So I don't mind that one. And then anything else standing out here? We got a couple free throw props. Porzingis is at 5.5. And then we could maybe look at some of these Mavericks lines and maybe talk about a Dinwiddie revenge. But I think if we're taking notes right now, I would write down Sadarinsky 6 assists. And you want to do anything with Porzingis, or do you want to hold out? They have a 1.5 threes, by the way.
Yeah, it's intriguing. I want to say I'm going to hold out for his assist, but his point or fancy point is in play too. The Mavs, their weakness is interior. You should be able to score pretty easily in the paint. And he's racking up stocks lately. Yeah. Like more so than his normal self.
KCP's at 14.5 real points. All these tertiary guys, I don't feel like I'm going to get behind. I guess I'll take the 6 assists for Sadarinsky. Yeah. The fantasy point line is really close to mine, 23 to 24.5, which I would assume that means so is the PRA stuff. So I'm going to just look at Sadarinsky assists, and that's all I got to say about that. Mavericks, anything? Luka or nah?
I'm going to hold off on him for right now.
Okay. I think that's fair.
What's the spread again?
The spread is 8.5. Okay.
I mean, yeah, it is an important game. These teams that need a win.
So, like I said, I think the Wizards are mathematically done.
But I mean the Mavs.
Mavs definitely have incentive to win, and the Wizards might try to play spoiler. I have Luke at 58.7 PrizePicks points, and they have them at 54. So it's not even a massive gap on that line itself. But it also, like, even if they are up 15, it's not a guarantee that they take their foot off their neck of the Wizards, because they need to win. You can't take chances. So I'm going to keep an eye on. Jalen Brunson's at 15.5 points. No Dinwiddie line yet for us revenge seekers. So, yeah.
If it's at 13.5 points, you could consider that.
All right. Elsewhere on the slate, we've got the Pacers at the Celtics. Celtics will be without Robert Williams. Celtics 14.5 point home favorites here against the Pacers team with a bunch of Q tags. We've been seeing big minutes on Halliburton. Brogdon has had a concoction of designations to keep him off of the court, essentially looking like they are just shutting him down for the season, but for some reason they're trying to be squirrely about it. This seems like a game that if I got here, it would be first half. I know this morning you were looking at Al Horford rebounds. So if you want to take another gander at that, we can. And I'll pull up Boston since the All-Star break, and then we'll take off Robert Williams. Like we said, Robert Williams is done. He had surgery, I think, right? And this is a huge anchor of their front court defense. A lot of blocks, a lot of rebounds. And since the All-Star break, when Al Horford's been on the court and Robert Williams has not, Horford has led the team in total rebound percentage. Sounds a couple minutes from Nesmith, which obviously is unsustainable. It's not staggering, but it is 14.2%, and defensive rebound rate at 23%. So going against a porous front court like the Pacers, definitely up in pace team, bad team. So plenty of rebounds to go around. So assuming that they don't rest a guy like Horford because of the spread and how the league is playing right now, Horford might be an interesting click for those rebounds at 8.5, but if you're like me and we get a little bit pessimistic of this game's fourth quarter viability, maybe we look at what can be offered in the first half, and Horford is at 4.5 real points in the first half, 15.5 fantasy points in the first half. I've got Horford, if he were able to get to a full game, at about 39, so if you chop that in half, it's well above 15, assuming he would be on that type of pace. Is that something that's interesting to you? And not just Horford, but any of these first half props for the Celtics?
Yeah, I mean, Horford and Tatum first half could be really, really fruitful. And I'm in agreement with you that this game has blowout written all over it for sure. It's just a matter of how long is it going to take to get there for the blowout. Yeah, so you could consider Tatum and Horford fantasy point first half. I like it.
Horford 23.7 fantasy points first half against Miami. That game also without Robert Williams. And Miami is much, much tougher on the interior than the Pacers. So somebody can get behind. And also Horford, it can be sneaky with the blocks, man. Him and like Brook Lopez don't really get credits for being blockers at the rate that they are. But on the season, he was averaging 1.4 blocks per game. So this is
very good point. Very good point.
Those plus threes can add up. So I do like that. And that's probably it from this game for me, unless you really want to look at Tatum and Brown. I'm looking at chat, and Paul Whitlock is interested in Tatum assists. And again, I definitely think the thought of any prop for the Celtics makes sense. We just deal with does this game stay close enough, long enough, strong enough to get full run. Tatum's assist is just 4.5, so it's definitely chip in a chair territory. And if we let trends tell the story, he's cleared that more than he has it in his last 5, 6, 7 games. Looking at Tatum, let's put Tatum on the court with Horford here since the All-Star break and just grab a number for assist rate. Not really adding Brown or Marcus Smart, just overall numbers to get us a lean. And Tatum has a 24% assist rate. That's second to just Marcus Smart. So 24%, kind of like the Porzingis number, 24, 25%. That'll keep you live for these numbers that are below 5, and that's what we got today. So I definitely wouldn't talk anyone off of that. That would be, like Josh said yesterday, that would be your gut call. If your gut's telling you Tatum over 4.5 assists should be easy enough, I wouldn't argue with it. I think it makes a lot of sense. I'm just worried about the fourth quarter in this one because the Celtics defense is pretty doggone good, and this Pacers team is not so much. And then let's move on to the Kings and Rockets. This is the game. The game.
For sure.
This is a rematch of a game that won us quite a bit of scratch the other night. Kings, of course, throwing that new look Davion Mitchell-led offense, front court spearheaded by Trey Lyles, Damien Jones, and then the Rockets have been without Christian Wood, Eric Gordon, Dennis Schroeder's done, and Alperen Sengun is questionable. And if just knowing all those guys are out, what we have seen is them take really the cap off of Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green and just let them go out there and run. And that's exactly what they did in that last game. Kevin Porter Jr. logged, a triple-double? And Jalen Green had another 30 real point game. So could expect more of the same today. And Kevin Porter Jr. dropped 70 DraftKings points, while Jalen Green, like we talked about, put up 32 real points with 6 of 14 from behind the arc.
Yeah.
He took 14, 15, 11 shots from three the last 3 games.
Yeah, I got to talk about this game, or the most recent one.
Okay, let's go.
So I rewatched it for a second time this morning, and it's just I still can't get over how much that game looked like a all-star or rising star, since these are all young guys. Rising star game where no defense, no passing, no ball rotation, ISO only basketball. If you have the ball first, you're probably going to take the shot. And that's all it was. It was literally Kevin Porter bringing it up. Maybe sometimes he would pass it to Jalen Green, but most of the time, no, he would shoot it. And he did not look for anybody to pass it. He would literally just either drive to the basket or take the three right there. Same for Jalen Green. And if they did pass it, like I said, they would only pass it to each other. It got so bad that on NBA League Pass you can watch the different camera angles, and
Yeah.
one of them I was on, it showed the corner three where Garrison lives. And he's literally standing there, and he puts his hands on his waist, and he's just standing there the entire time that they're dribbling around up the top of the key. And then he starts just shaking his head, and you could just tell he's just bored. He knows he's not going to get the ball. No one's going to get the ball. I mean, it's Kevin Porter, Jalen Green all day long. They're going to take all the shots. I mean, I'm locking it in. It seems just so straightforward to me. Even if they have a poor shooting night, the volume is there, and the prop lines I think are still low enough. The point ones that they can get there. If their shot is not as good as it was the night before. It wasn't like they were shooting lights out.
Yeah.
To begin with, and a lot of their baskets they're playing really aggressive and drawing fouls. They're getting easy layups and dunks, so they have a high percentage shots going up. I like to lock that in. And then Kings side, the Rockets had no answer for Damien Jones. I mean, whatsoever. And so the offense just ran through him. Davion would just come down. He would dribble through to the paint and then look to dump it to him. They would try to set up different plays and screens for Damien Jones. I expect the same thing today. The only concern with them is if he gets in foul trouble. So he did pick up 4 fouls. I think it was his fourth one in the third quarter. But I mean, he's gonna get all the run that he can handle today, and I think he should dominate. Garuba he's just not that dude. He's not good. But Bruno actually looked a lot better off the bench. I'm really hoping Sengun they just don't play him again today, because that would really mess things up.
Yeah.
And I think I assume my gut's saying that he's too important piece for them in the future going forward that I don't think they're going to play him. I think they might just rest him for maybe the rest of the season or next few days. So I'm going to go right back to Damien Jones. I'm going to go with this point prop. I think he could easily clear that 14.5, because like I said, the offense is going to go through him. And what the Rockets started doing in the second half, they started trapping Davion Mitchell, because they couldn't stop him either. And so Davion's like, okay, I'm just going to find the open guy and pass it and be a distributor for the second half. And so he started racking up a lot of his assists in the second half. Yeah. If the Rockets plan to do that again, then that's even more reason for guys like Damien Jones to thrive and clear that point prop. So right now, my top two is going to be Kevin Porter points. You could consider they took his rebound prop away, which is unfortunate. You could consider maybe his fantasy point, but I'm just gonna lean points for the shot volume. Jalen Green 100% points, and then the one I'm wrestling with is Davion Mitchell. If I want to go with his assist prop or his fantasy score, because he will fill the stat line. And then I'm 100% going Damien Jones, 14.5 points. And if it burns me, it burns me. But the process is right on this one. I mean, I don't see anything changing today from what the game was 2 days ago. So I'm riding it.
I'm in full agreement here. We are sponsored by ODDSJAM, so I do want to use ODDSJAM since a lot of what we are interested in is in the same game here. So I kind of see where the public's at and where we should be looking. So you're saying if they announce that Alex Len is active and everyone for the Kings is active, you're not going to let that get you away from Damien Jones today. Not today, Satan. Not today.
When Alex Len checked in, played 3 minutes, and then he immediately went to the bench and he put on his street clothes. He started putting them on, and he knew he was done, shut down for the rest of the game. I'm not worried about him.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
No, I know. Hey,
no, not to you, to the Kings organization.
Oh yeah.
So hey, I got our ODDSJAM page open for real points. And one of the things we're interested in is 14.5 points for Damien Jones over. And what ODDSJAM does is in this in a column towards the right, they have what's called the perfect line. So it's like based on the models, what they think the line should be for this prop, and they say that the line should be minus 124 for Damien Jones to hit over 14.5, and there's a lot of value on that line right now. You're getting almost even money, minus 105 at many books, including DraftKings. So the sharp line says that it's in agreement with you on the over for Damien Jones.
And then for Kevin Porter, I noticed that the most sports books have him at 19.5, but I think he's currently at 18.5 on PrizePicks.
Yes.
What is ODDSJAM showing for the odds on that, or what are people going under or over on that?
It looks like it's pretty split.
Okay.
Almost down the middle. They do have them at 19.5 now. It's close to even money on the over, and it's charging a little tax on the under. And their perfect line says minus 130 on the under, while being minus 102 on the over. So that would have you to lean the under, but I'm with you. I'm just thinking this game might shoot out. With KPJ, however, I could make a case to throw a blanket over everything with fantasy points, because he did just triple-double, right? It wasn't like it was just all scoring. So maybe,
some of those assists were just random, though. I'm telling you, they did not run an offense. It was literally iso ball. It reminded me of James Harden back in Houston. But he filled the stat line.
Yeah.
So are you thinking fantasy or PRA?
So, he does turn the ball over quite a bit, huh?
He does,
right.
but
so looking at stocks, 1 to 2 stocks a game, 2 to 3 turnovers per game, kind of a wash, but it's still a net positive for the stocks. One stock against Sacramento, so it was a net negative. Actually, it was a new lateral. So probably PRA to throw a blanket over it, unless it's too close to fantasy. So I guess first of all, let me see what my prop. I don't think my PRA is going to be that crazy versus theirs, just because I'm only like a 2-point gap between fantasy points. I'm at like 42 and they're at 40, so I think I'm going to be pretty even with their projections. I'm at 30.37 PRA, and the line is 32, so I'm actually slightly under. So I guess in that regard, I'd probably try to bank on a dunk out steal or two in the fantasy points, but I think that's tight enough that I wouldn't even force the issue. Like, I guess 18.5 points is fine for now, but I'm just saying, like, if we didn't want to go all in on one prop specifically, he did show a propensity to do a little bit of everything. And if Şengün's going to be out again, maybe a couple more free-floating rebounds for a guy like KPJ here. Yeah. And that was that's a line that could come back up, because that was one of your favorite props the other night was KPJ rebounds. Yep. Let's see what the books
He's a big rebounding guard, and with all those guys out.
So it looks like there isn't a line from the books right now, so maybe that's...
They're too nervous.
Right.
I guess they're waiting.
Oh, no, there is one. There is one. It's 5.5.
Okay.
With
that's what I thought it'd be around 5.
All right. The VIG's on the under, so... If it hit PrizePicks, it would likely start at 5.5, which is probably not something we need to do.
Yeah,
Okay.
we definitely have to wait. We definitely have to watch out for Sango news. We need a. But the problem is, if we wait too long, these lines are going to go up throughout the day, in my opinion.
100%. 100%.
So if you wait, yeah, it's gonna be a dice roll. I hope they don't play him. I really
Okay.
don't.
So we mentioned we got Davion Mitchell assist fantasy, Damien Jones points, Kevin Porter points, Jalen Green points.
Yep.
There's one name conspicuous by his absence. If you look at all the big games from that last outing, Mr. Lyles.
Oh my gosh.
He had him a game. He
did. He did.
31 fantasy points is the line here. He just dropped 43 in that last outing. He has cleared 31, 2 of his last 3. There's a bad matchup against Miami in there. There's that weird game where Chimezie Metu got more minutes against the Pacers. And then there's that Suns game where he hit the under. Suns a little tougher defense. And this is a great example of why we don't game log watch. It's the Houston friggin' Rockets, right? Like, their front court has been just a Honeywell for fantasy points all
Garuba,
season.
man, he's so bad.
Yeah, so I have Trey Lyles at 38, which is actually lower than I thought it would be, but it's still over, pretty well over their line. So a 6-point margin. So I'm going to nominate Trey Lyles fantasy points to be added to the list here.
Yeah.
Fantasy points. Boom.
I mean, and you could do fantasy points for Damian Jones too. I have a bad taste in my mouth. So with fantasy right now with turnovers.
Yeah.
I
that's understand.
Me, so like, if you have a good feel on fantasy, definitely go for it. I just want guys who are going to be the primary piece of the offense. I want their points in a high paced matchup. So that's just my opinion.
Getting caught up on chat here. Sebastian Swords. What up, Sebastian? What up, Nate D? What up, Cowboys Nation? Sebastian says, so Underdog has a special line of Cat, 100 3-pointers made. I would probably slightly lean the under. What do you think? You can make less than 100 threes today?
What is this prop?
All right, Underdog's a similar site to PrizePicks. Josh just probably thought I was serious. You know how there's like promotional props? I guess that's.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like a free square.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And Cat with his 103rd three of the game. My God, this is incredible.
And then he rips his jersey up and has Underdog shirt underneath.
What up, Chris? Cade Cunningham back in OKC narrative. He will handle the ball with Kojo. Yeah, we were. Josh mentioned that in his first look this morning. Definitely can get behind that. Matt says, "What about Damien Jones fantasy?" I have Damien at 36 fantasy points, so I'm with that. So while the last game was great for this front court rotation, they still have Alex Len to can F stuff up. They still have Chimezie Metu and Keita, who we thought Keita would be more involved than he was that last game because
he didn't get any run.
Coach speak.
It makes me like Damien even more. I think he's locked in.
Yeah. Don't say that, Josh. I already dropped on Damien fantasy. That's fine. I think the real points is fine. Clippers in the Bucks. All right, so there's definitely no lines for this game, right? Like, absolutely not possible that there would be lines up. There are lines up for this game. Oh, what? Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, so I'm thinking Terrence Mann right off the rip. I have him for 38 fantasy points. They got him for 33. He's a little bit of a do-it-all. They have an 8-man rotation, Josh. Terrence Mann's probably dropping 50, if we're being real.
Yeah, so what do they have him at?
They have him at 33 fantasy points. 26.5 PRA. I mean, it's here. Let's do this. I have for 38 minutes. I'm gonna do a query on StatMuse. StatMuse, Terrence Mann FTP by game log with 35 minutes, and then to get some sample, I'm gonna put 50 games.
What does chat think about this?
42, 45, 46, 46 in his last 4 games where he got 35 minutes or greater. He's exceeded 40 FanDuel points. The line is 33. Terrence Mann is that dude for me, man. They're bro. Let me pull this rotation back up. By the way, poor Danny, man. She's sick. Y'all send the vibes.
Oh man.
Let me pull. She just had to call into work. I know they tweeted the rotation here. So this is our Clippers available. Man, Coffee, Kennard, Rocco. And I think Rocco is somebody that I wouldn't expect big minutes from. Zubac, Hartenstein, Rodney, I'm so hood. Wouldn't expect big minutes from him. Xavier Moon. That's an 8-man rotation. Terrence Mann and Luke Kennard might have one of those games where they both play 38 minutes. Coffee will definitely play 40 minutes. I'm thinking this is like we're overthinking it by not smashing it, right? Like 33 fantasy points for Terrence Mann here. Am I tripping, chat?
I mean, it sounds like a gut call for you to lock it in, man. I get it.
All right, I'm gonna add it to the list. Terrence,
make it a core.
Terrence's parents have a real nice marriage. All right, so we'll go fantasy points there, and then Luke Kennard owes me from last night. You. So I'm thinking, when I think Luke Kennard, I'm thinking real points. They put him at 16.5 real points, Josh. Stop it. Just literally stop it.
What do the books have him?
That's a great question. Let's go to ODDSJAM.com. Pull up this game. NBA. And let's piece this game together. Milwaukee and LA. Real points. So they have Kennard at 16.5 as well, and right now the VIG's on the over. So we'll see if that goes up. I mean, we're doing some math here. Terrence Mann 16.5, Rocco 11.5, Kennard 16.5, Zubac 13.5. I mean, you start adding all this together, you're not getting 110. I think Kennard, this might be one of those 20 real point Kennard games, man. So I'm going to nominate Luke Kennard real points.
Okay.
Luke Kennard real points. And then, hey, since we did this query for Terrence Mann, let's do it for Luke Kennard. His last couple games of 35 minutes, 14, 13, 17, 27, 23, 15. So there is a mixed bag of nuts of results, I guess. So I understand if we leave that as a fringe. They also had 25 fantasy points. I have them at 36. So maybe the fantasy points is the way to go. That's an 11-point gap. So let's do that. I'm going to switch it to fantasy points. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, I mean, he's like a Seth Curry. I mean, those kind of guys could always just go with the points, but sure.
You could. It probably makes more sense. There's a couple fake rebound games in here. All right. Sound like you're not as optimistic about the Clippers as I am.
No. I mean,
okay.
I know.
Eight guys.
Yeah, they're predictable now. Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
I get it. I just, I've been trying to stay away from them because of their volatility. But yeah, I mean, we only have 8 guys today, so it makes sense.
Honestly, this whole team is probably. I mean, it's there's a landmine in here somewhere to step on. But Coffee at 24 fantasy points, I've got him for 34. That's a 10-point gap.
I always go with the unders on it.
Zubac, if Zubac actually gets a real opportunity at run, 33 fantasy points. I've got him at. I got him about right there. So I think the front court, if anything, like if there's any depth at any position, it's the front court. Zubac, Hartenstein, you can see Rocco stretch out a little bit, and then you could just see them not care. Xavier Moon. Was that Conan's gimmick when he was in WWE? Anybody? Xavier? I want to say Xavier Moon was a Conan gimmick. Help me out, you wrestling aficionados. It was Xavier. I want to say it was something Moon. I don't know. Hey, the Bucks are wrestling everybody too. And when I did my first run projections, some of the more
broken projection.
I don't know about broken, but I got Bobby Portis for well over 40 fantasy points for PrizePicks scoring. And I think we all know that that's something Portis could do. They didn't give us his fantasy score yet. They gave us 30.5 PRA, 10.5 rebounds, 16.5 points. This has been a team that has not been that great at defending the paint. Rocco probably stretch out a little bit more, play the 4. So that's something I'm waiting on is Bobby Portis lines. We don't have anything but Bobby Portis and Grayson Allen so far. Grayson Allen with 13.5 real points as his prop. That's intriguing. Maybe we'll watch that develop. But let me see what I got on Bobby Portis. The Bucks, we should at least point out, not quite as short staff as the Clippers here. They got some scrubs that can come in. Thanasis and Antetokounmpo might even start. And if they did that, Ibaka and Portis could split. Like, they could be really resting all of the guys that might actually get minutes in the playoffs. And I think Bobby Portis is one of them. So we do wrestle with that. However, his per minute production without a Giannis, a Middleton, a Drew Holiday, guys like that can be pretty doggone high. And he does so much of everything that right now I put him for 32 minutes and I got that 46 plus. So let me double check my PRA and then we'll cross reference it with theirs.
What's wrong with Bobby though? Have you been watching him? He doesn't look right or the same since the first half of the season.
I haven't really noticed a lot.
Yeah. Well, I've been watching him, and he looks off. His threes aren't falling. He's not taking many of them. Even when he gets like 30 minutes or his full run, he's just I don't know.
So the line on him is 30.5 PRA. My projections came at 34.4. So it's a decent lean on the over for PRA. I do think Bobby could get a block or two. So maybe we hold out for more Bucks lines to develop.
Okay.
And then but like I said, the Bucks still have ways to screw us here because Pat Connaughton was doing well last night. Jordan Nwora can come in, and Thanasis, Sandro can come in. The Clippers seem a little less prone to being able to okey dokus.
Yeah, that last game where most of the starters were out except Drew, that Wizards game, it was pretty well distributed, all the usage and the point distribution for the Bucks. So they can get watered down, like you said. So it's a good point.
Yeah. What up, JF? What up, Patrick Reed? Patrick says, "Sub Gun, how many players from the Blazers and OKC would be too many in large field on FanDuel?" I mean, I don't think the Blazers are priced like they used to be, and for DFS, and we'll stick to the props if we can, and we'll talk about DFS on the next show. But for DFS, there's gonna be a lot of underpriced, like the entire Clippers team, the Grizzlies team, and stuff like that. The Bucks. So I don't think you have to load up on Blazers because you're getting what 7K, close to 7K for like Drew Eubanks and Brandon Williams, stuff like that. So I wouldn't go crazy with them. I don't necessarily think they're bad plays because they do have concentrated usage and whatnot. But I don't see myself getting to like 3-man full stack Blazers. But we'll talk about that a little bit more in depth on the next show. Pistons and Thunder. We did get some Piston news while since we've been live. We've got, let me scroll down through this jibber jabber. Marvin Bagley's ruled out. Bag alert. Corey Joseph ruled out. Kelly Olynyk ruled out. So, in my brain, I'm thinking that front court now has no Bagley, no Olynyk. So Isaiah Stewart should get a bunch of run. And they've been giving minutes to like Livers and Key. So they might also benefit from that. Maybe Sadiq Bey stretches out. So be cognitive of that. It's a 221 total. Was a 5-point spread in favor of the Pistons. Let's go use the ODDSJAM line tool to see if there has been movement since this information has come out. So I'm not going to have time to adjust the projections. But Cade Cunningham is not ruled out. And we do have a little bit of narrative there for old Cade. So with that said, PrizePicks, do you love me? They do. They have 44 fantasy points for Cade Cunningham.
I got juice.
So I will say I had him at 46 before the rule outs. Marvin Bagley could be double-digit shot attempts. So I might, when I adjust for this, I'll try and adjust between streams. But I wouldn't be stunned if that got to 50. But yes, it is kind of up there. With that said, not a bad spot for the Pistons, who are implied for over 110 points, to can lean on their highest usage guy who's going to lead the team in minutes, and looking like he's trying to put a cap on this Rookie of the Year campaign, right? Something Cade Cunningham might be in play. Have been looking at his assists lately. That's not on the board right now. And you do wonder the absence of Marvin Bagley might hurt. But let's replace those Bagley shots. You think it's Sadiq Bey?
Yeah, I mean, majority of the assists he got against Philly was through Sadiq yesterday.
Okay. Well, they got him at 18.5 points. He did clear that yesterday. I also do like Bay from beyond the 3-point land. And in this spot, maybe his FanDuel or his fantasy point projection will shoot up a little bit more as well. So something to keep an eye on. And I think as I tighten my projections, I'll get there. What I'm also really thinking, Isaiah Stewart fantasy points might come into play here. So let's look at recent minute rotations for the Pistons. I know Kelly Olynyk and Marvin Bagley have both been playing a little bit. Bagley's been starting, but Kelly Olynyk has been playing backup for. And yeah, Kelly Olynyk's
Stewart
minutes.
didn't close yesterday though.
Who?
Stewart
did not close. They closed with essentially a garbage squad on top of Cade Cunningham and Bay. So they went to Kelly Olynyk, Frank Jackson. Jackson didn't close. He was subbed out for Cade. Him and Braxton Key subbed out for Cade and Stewart. And then they closed with Kelly Olynyk, Killian Hayes. We talked about that, and Isaiah Livers.
Yeah, they played the entire fourth. I think it was because they were doing so well. I guess they just let them stay out there. I mean, because they were trailing in the fourth, the Pistons were, and then Cade went on this steal, and just got like 3 in a row, and brought them back, and they made a late run with 5 minutes left. So it wasn't like it was a blowout.
Yeah.
So does that make you concerned about Stewart's minutes, or?
I mean, so let's say let's just say Stewart gets 28 to 30 minutes anyway, without giving him more minutes than we would have normally. It's still a great matchup, right? And if you you give him a couple of shots because of Bagley's absence, and you juice up his potential because of the matchup, I'm fine with it. I'm with you on how this Pistons rotation will be uncertain at best pre-flop. They could call up Luka Garza. They could start him if they wanted to. We've seen him start a game or two earlier this season. Maybe he's played some G League reps and his foul propensity can take a step back here, and maybe that's going against a not polished NBA caliber Thunder team. Maybe that wouldn't even be that much of an impact as well. So I guess we got to keep an eye on all this. But from this far out, would you commit to a Sadiq Bey or Cade Cunningham, or you want to hold off? And Cade Cunningham, we got the homecoming narrative, just for those that might have tuned in late.
Oh, I mean, yeah, because he played his college ball there. If anything with Cade, what I've been targeting lately, and it's been pretty successful, is his fantasy point prop, because he's just crushing the stocks. He's getting steals left and right. So I probably just stick. I know it's really juiced, but it's a great matchup. I'd probably stick with this fantasy, and then. Yeah, I mean, with Bagley out, this is going to be a huge usage boost for Sadiq.
So
I
don't know. I'm sorry. I'm looking. Olynyk has been playing backup center, not backup 4. He's playing directly opposite Isaiah Stewart. So and since he closed last night, Olynyk, I feel like we can get Isaiah Stewart if he stays out of foul trouble, which is the Thunder. I feel like we can get Isaiah Stewart to maybe a 32-minute projection.
But why wouldn't Stewart close with the team with them? They were like winning by 2 points, and it was a good game.
Kelly Olynyk's just a better scorer, better player.
Yeah.
So maybe, and in that game specifically, when it's the Sixers, right? if you're trying to play to win, and then Isaiah Stewart, I think he's their highest fouls per 36 guy. So keeping him away from Embiid, it just might have been all strategic.
Yeah.
But Olynyk's just straight up not there. So tonight, so the fact that that's gone, I don't know, man. I might be able to give.
Olynyk's out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My bad. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're on the same page. All right.
Yeah.
So, so then Isaiah Stewart fantasy points 30 or not 30. Yeah, it is 30. 30 fantasy points.
I'm thinking rebounds.
Okay, I would say yes.
They're such a bad rebounding team. Both teams are, but especially the Thunder.
They also Do what, Josh? What am I about to
Foul.
say? No. They also give up a lot of plus threes. They give up the second most blocks per game.
Oh yeah.
Those plus threes add up. If Isaiah Stewart gets 2 or 3 blocks, you know what I'm saying?
That's fair. Yeah.
Okay.
When
when I recrunch, I'm gonna recrunch projections between streams. I'm pretty sure this Stewart line, when I put him for beefier minutes and take out these guys, I think Isaiah Stewart's fantasy projection might hit 36.
And it's at 30 right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of minute, like Bagley and Olynyk alone. If I can't get 5 minutes out of those two to go to Stewart, then what are we doing? So I'm there.
I'm with you now. I sorry, I was totally confused about the Olynyk. I didn't realize he was not playing.
Okay, it's okay. I forgive you. You know, don't let it happen again, ever. And we'll move on from this. We'll grow from this and evolve as prop hunters.
So is Garza the backup then today?
So Garza was out yesterday with an ankle injury. So if that's a legitimate injury, and he wasn't part of the rotation anyway, but if that lingers for today, then it's just more, potential floor for the minutes for Stewart. Like we said, he can't get in foul trouble, but it is the Thunder. So
yeah, seems like an obvious play. What can go wrong?
Kate Cunningham is a 3-point prop at 1.5. It's gonna be a no, right? All right. Anything on the Thunder for you or not?
Nah. Roby, what do they have him? Anything good? 7.5 rebounds, I assume.
7.5 rebounds, 15.5 points, 32 fantasy points, and I had him at 44. That's a 12-point gap.
Yeah. He has that upside. He flashes it for sure. I would say he's fringe.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That would be it for me, though. Poku, they juiced his stuff way too much. 8.5 rebounds. Get out of here. No way for me, man.
All right. Isaiah Roby fantasy. We'll go fringe on that. Wonder why I'm so different in projections for Roby. Let me see.
Is your minutes the same as usual?
I have him at for 34. You don't think that's egregious, right? 34 minutes for Roby. So I came back with just under 20 real points, almost 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 31.6 PRA. And if we got to use ODDSJAM.com, pull up PRA and see where Roby is. So just see how aggressive I am over the. They have him at 26.5. So yeah, I'm a little bit over. I might have to scoop back on that and see what I'm missing. So I have about a 5-point disparity between my projections and theirs. But I'm also, this is where I think some of the edge for us happens because it's the Pistons and the Thunder, right? And I don't know that these guys are priced to, because no one actually knows. So, but I'll make a note to go back and check, make sure I'm not missing something. Getting caught up on chat here. Chat, 159 of you guys hanging out. That is incredible. But just 49 likes, that's not incredible. We can do better. I'm just saying we can do better. Marvin's room in the thumbs up button room. I don't know. That's stupid. But 49, can we get to 70? 70 likes? That would be nice. That would be lit. Like, Vit, Credshy. I'm not a rapper. All right. Suns at the Memphis Grizzlies. So a little suspicious on this spread, 7.5. Memphis looks like they're going to punt this game. Everyone's doubtful, not officially out, but it's actually doubtful. The guy that isn't, though, is Dylan Brooks. So it looks like Dylan Brooks is set up to play high usage basketball with a bunch of nobodies, but I don't think we have any lines on that. And because of the temperature in the room, I got 5 starters in the room. I don't know what to do with the Suns either, because 7.5 feels like that's a little too light. But we also said this with the Warriors game the other night, and the Warriors hung in there, and the Grizzlies just continue to surprise us. But you know, this is a different team, so I think we avoid this game for now. Would you agree?
Yeah.
All right.
For prop world, yeah.
Right. All right. Blazers and the Spurs. 231.5 total. The Spurs home home favorites, 15-point favorites. They need to win. Hey, the Pelicans play the Lakers tonight. If the Lakers can muscle out the win over the Pelicans and the Spurs handle their business and beat the Blazers, that would put the Spurs at 32. That would put them one game back from the Pelicans, and they would have the same amount of wins as the Lakers. So every win matters, kind of like the Mavericks situation here. If they want to go forward, if the Spurs want to hang on to this play-in spot, they gotta handle their business, and they can't let off the gas. They can't take their foot off their neck. So I'm a little bit more receptive to the idea of targeting some Spurs, just because the sense of urgency to win is high. And if I want to target the Spurs, I usually want to target DeJounte Murray. And we've talked about Keldon Johnson. Keldon Johnson, heartbreaking layup miss. He's looking to get that taste out of his mouth. So maybe teams look to build his confidence. DeJounte Murray comes in with a 52 fantasy point projection, 24.5 points, 8 rebounds, 9.5 assists. Typical DeJounte stuff. So if we wanted to get there, I wouldn't push back on that. My projections do lean the over on 52 fantasy points. How are we playing this? Do you want to go first half on this game just to be a little extra safe?
Yeah.
All right. So let's pull up first half on PrizePicks.
I think, if I remember correctly, when they recently played this, DeJounte cleared in the first quarter.
The 26?
Yeah.
Yeah, he hit 38.5 in the first half. So 26 fantasy points certainly is very, very viable here in the first quarter. Memphis, we talked about, been a great defense without Ja Morant. I can look past that. Golden State Warriors, what are you going to do? But 3 prior games cleared that. So, and these are comparable matchups: Houston, Pelicans, Portland. So I'll sign up for some DeJounte first half. DeJounte first half, because it is over 25. I'll probably list it as fringe or second tier.
What's his total at? Are they juicing it?
So the total was 51. So yeah, we're getting a 1 point tax, right?
Yeah.
Spurs. Wait, I'm dumb. Spurs the total was 52. So actually, we're not getting taxed, which is rare. We've been getting taxed a lot lately. You would think these first half 15-point spread guys would definitely be taxed. So they split them down the middle.
Okay.
So I'm fine with taking the first half.
Yeah.
First half DeJounte fantasy points. And then, hey, are we Pirtle enough for the Pirtle Club or nah?
He went off that game. He had 6 total stocks, I think. I mean, he should thrive, but his
Must have been second half.
his minute rotation is a little wonky in the first quarter with Zach Collins. I don't know, Pop changes it up sometimes, but it's a absolute smash spot. So,
all right, Nuggets hosting the T-Wolves. This is also a game. A game. 242.5 total, 2.5 point spread in favor of the home team Denver Nuggets. So while both teams are pretty doggone healthy, this game is not insignificant. Warriors and the Nuggets, 6 and 7 seed. The Nuggets, we've talked about how it would be nice for the Nuggets, at least for them, to break that top 4. 4th seed and better will get that home court advantage for the first round. And the home court advantage means more for these altitude teams like Denver, like Utah. And then, of course, the Nuggets, if they can, get a little safer spot in the playoffs, they will, and they've been playing great. So the Nuggets are 3 games back the T-Wolves are 3 games back from the Nuggets and holding off the Clippers. Clippers are pretty well set in. They're not going to go forward. They're not going to go backwards. So this is a beautiful, beautiful pace-up spot for the Nuggets. The defense is scrappy, but however, the T-Wolves defense, because they play so physical, they're also extremely susceptible to fouls. Are they still leading the league in fouls per game? NBA team fouls per game 2022. Looks like for the season, personal fouls per game, they're second behind the Detroit Pistons, which makes sense. So
the Pistons probably just took them over after that game last night.
And here's a stat we run all the time, but in most fouls per 36 in NBA this season, the big cat Ernie Ladd is third on the list behind Jaren Jackson Jr. and Jayshawn Tate. So a dangerous spot to target cat, but it makes me immediately interested in Nikola Jokic's free throw prop. His free throw prop opened up at 6.5, Josh. And this is a line that is not offered by most sports books. So fantasy points and free throw props, I think, could be the most edge for PrizePicks because they can't really copy like Pinnacle to the T or look at several books because it's not a widely offered line. So 6.5 free throws, I'm a buyer.
Yeah. I when I saw that this morning, I definitely jotted that down.
Okay. So I'm gonna jot it down. It's at 6.5. I'm almost I would guarantee since we've said it, it's gonna be 7 within 20 minutes.
I know it was crazy that was 2 days ago he opened at 5.5 and then it got all the way up to 7 when he played the Pacers. So.
Yeah.
You know what would be a cool card to build is do that free throw prop and pair it with Cat all unders, whatever points fantasy. Because he's averaging 4 fouls a game. Like, it has to be over the last 10 games. So, good chance he gets in foul trouble again today.
There it is. Elsewhere on this team, it is a pace-up spot. And in these pace-up spots, I do tend to consider Will Barton and Aaron Gordon a little bit more. And like we said, their defense has been pretty good. But Aaron Gordon, I think 15.5 real points. I could put that in the fringe bucket, see what happens. And then you mentioned Will Barton is one of those dual guards that a team like the T-Wolves can struggle to switch on this morning. Anything else on the Nuggets? I tend to only actually put money on Jokic, but I don't know. I feel like my bad knee is saying, hey, Aaron Gordon could hit this 15.5, but I don't think I want to actually test it in a parlay approach. And then we don't have Bones Highland props, if that's what you're about to ask.
No. I all season long, I just haven't targeted these, besides Bones, any of these Nuggets secondary guys. I just, go for Jokic. It seems like Barton's a popular bet today, and I don't understand why he's looked terrible this year.
It's probably just an increase in pace and increase in possessions, increase in shots. So I understand if we're just funneling usage this way, but
I don't want to bet. I don't want to put out my money to Barton. I don't know if you guys have been watching him, but he does not look good.
Let's see how Cat's done against Jokic lately. Carly Towns, FTP by game log versus Nikola Jokic last 10 games. Where are we at on time? 2:16. So we'll try and get out of here in 13 minutes. 54, 52, 26, 34. So his last couple games against Jokic, when it comes to fouls, 4-4. But he was plus 12 and plus 18. So Nuggets could hurt. But only one game is from this season. He had 24, 10, and 7. He had 7 assists that game. Okay, something to think about for DFS, I guess.
Who did?
Cat.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I guess I'll open it up, but I feel like with 7 assists, somebody had to be out, whether it be D. Russ or Edwards. Cat, Edwards. Yeah, D. Russ was out for that game, so makes more sense. Okay, let's move on. Let me get caught up on chat. Shout out to you guys. 160 plus. I think we might break a viewer record for this particular show. So I appreciate you guys vibing with us, hitting those thumbs up. Hey, if you're not subscribed to the channel, yesterday we broke 7K subs, which was a pretty awesome milestone to accomplish. And we definitely couldn't do it without you. We're already at 26 above 7K. If you're liking the vibes, hit that sub button, man. We're doing this every day. The next couple days a little bit wonky. Tomorrow's schedule for basketball sucks. Josh is addicted to content, so I'm sure we'll try and figure out something. Then I usually take Sundays off, but there's no NBA games on Monday in honor of the college championship. So we'll probably do something, and I got permission from Danny. Everyone thank Danny for allowing me to do this, to do some content on Sunday if everything lined out well enough. So on Sunday we can do some content, and then Monday's a day off. So just kind of keep that in mind for you guys if you are planning your bankroll over the weekend and how you want to spend it. So yeah, hit that sub button because we've been pumping out content so much. I mean, we're losing sleep getting this content out because my boy Josh, he literally forces him. Like I was in a call with him last night playing MLB The Show 22, and he was studying game film for his notes for an 8-9 minute video. Like, he packs a punch in those videos. So I hope you guys are really taking advantage of that because dude's nuts.
It's fun. I like it.
Well, what should be fun is the main event tonight. It's an hour and a half after everything. And I also need to remind you guys, this stream has been brought to you by ODDSJAM.com. If you're not on ODDSJAM, there's a link in the description below. Click on that. They have some free cool things that you can use, like a betting tracker, stuff like that. See what bets you're good at. See what bets you're not so great at. Whether you're good at fishing for points and stuff like that. You can isolate it, and it's really easy. So let's say for the Jokic, so they don't have free throws for Jokic, but let's say I wanted to bet something on Jokic or Cunningham. They have Cunningham triple-double at 1,000. That's probably not a good spot. What was one of our favorite props? We wanted, I think I'm going to go Luke Kennard points, so just randomly. If I wanted to do that and I wanted to track it, I would open this up in the practicality of this page right here. When you open up player points, you see all the different books and what lines they offer. So if you have access to multiple books, it's fine to get signed up for 5 or 6 of them, have a spread out bankroll, and just always put yourself in the most EV spot. Because it's like buying a gallon of gas, right? You got 2 gas stations on the corner, one's charging $3.85, the other one's charging $4.02. Well, you're going to go to $3.85, and 25 cents might not sound like a lot, or 15, 17 cents math, but you're going to go for the better value. And people are not doing that for betting, and you should be. So I'm going to go Luke Kennard, and I'm going to log over 16.5 points. This perfect line's telling me that minus 139 on the over should be what the line is, and if it's lower than that, that means there's some value, such as at bet 365. So I'm gonna put a $100 unit on the over, and we log it, and it's that simple. Boom, we spit that out. We go make the bet, but that'll track it for us, and when we come back after bets are graded, we'll know how we're doing, so you can kind of keep tabs on it. And some of you guys in Canada that are losing PrizePicks, losing DFS, and you want to make that transition, it's an incredible companion piece to what you're doing. So main event tonight, though, impactful game for the play-in implications. Pelicans, Lakers. Lakers should be getting AD back, should be getting LeBron back. The rest of the team is on night 2 of a back-to-back. The Pelicans getting a little bit healthier. Ingram, CJ McCollum back in the mix. Ingram narrative back in LA. Look at this Western Conference standing. Right now the Lakers are on the outside looking in, fogging up the windows, watching DeJounte Murray and Brandon Ingram cut open a holiday ham. Well, they want to get in there. If they're going to get in there, they need to get a dub over the Pelicans. Now, nothing will really move if the Spurs handle their business against the Blazers, but you can't lose. You can't lose. So LeBron James, Anthony Davis, those of you out there that believe things will get different for LeBron when the playoffs get here, this is essentially a playoff game. Every game for the rest of the season should be a playoff game for the Lakers, and it starts now. With LeBron on the court, with AD and Westbrook, the stat that stands out for me, Josh, is assist. And I want to see if we can quantify that. So I'm going to go use the Add More Funds on-off court tool, and I'm going to pull up the Lakers, and I'm going to put Westbrook, AD, and LeBron on the court because I do think LeBron does a little bit more ball handling. And I don't even know if we have Lakers lines up, but we should, right? Maybe we don't. Davis. Oh, I guess I should bring this back to the beginning of the season since AD missed quite a big stretch. StatMuse has been firing the parlays. Yeah, I love StatMuse too. Love StatMuse. It's like the best free thing out there. Yeah, what up, Obi-Wan? What up, Corey? What up, Ben P? Members of the body. Josh, drop your Twitter handle. Yeah, we got to get Josh more active on Twitter for sure.
I'm active. I just A lot of it's for work, so maybe I should have
You
a
should make a
account.
separate, yeah.
Yeah.
You're Twitchly active?
Yeah,
I just
mean,
made
because
that up,
I mean,
don't
for
know.
work, I have to for like, research papers and things like that. But yeah, it's probably not a good idea that I have gambling related stuff on popping up,
That's how
or
they get
my
you.
colleagues could see.
Yeah. Oh,
I
I,
don't know.
I see you hit last night, but you're not paying for lunch, though. Okay. Hey, since December 1, LeBron has a 34% assist rate with the big three on the court. At first, if you bring that back to the beginning of the season in October, Westbrook has a higher assist rate than LeBron. But we saw a clear transition, didn't we, Josh, in December and January when it looked like Westbrook running the show wasn't going to work. We saw LeBron do a little bit more. So I kind of had that feeling that LeBron assists needs to be something we think about tonight. If not LeBron points, knowing what's at stake. We don't have Lakers props up. And for the Pelicans, we do have some CJ McCollum, Ingram, stuff like that. This team a little bit more volatile to predict, especially with McCollum and Ingram on the court together. I feel like that's not going to be a spotlight spot for us. Did you have anything on the Pelicans, or are you like me? You want to see what they're going to put out for LeBron?
Yeah, I want to see what they put up for LeBron. It's weird with the Pelicans. It looks like they couldn't make their mind up, and they're just like, all right, we're just gonna give them all 40 fantasy point props, and that's what they have. So McCollum's 40, JVL's 40, Ingram's 40. That's the first time I've ever seen that. Like same exact prop line for all three guys, primary guys.
Yeah. All right. So if Lakers lines come out, and I guess we can pull up ODDSJAM and see if there's public lines on the Lakers. Because I feel like if LeBron's assist prop was below 7, I'm in. What do you think?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was my first intuition too when I was thinking about the game script.
What up, Skimmer? Says it's the prop detector.
Bing bong.
Bing bong. That scared me. Squeak Diesel with the buck, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate the love. We got a new month, so hey, the biggest of the month award is wide open. Adam won it for the month of March, but April is here. So yeah, we don't have any props for the Lakers up because I guess it should be noted that LeBron and them are not officially in. And hey, LeBron did say he's done for the season. Josh,
He what?
he said he's done for the season. I don't know if you saw that. You didn't see
Is
that?
like a wolf joke or something by him?
He tweeted it, bro. I thought you were Twitchly active. He said, "I'm out for the season officially. See y'all in the fall. Deuces."
Oh, that's gotta be April Fool's joke.
It is. At least I think it is. No. That's literally he literally tweeted that, but I instantly assumed it was a corny April Fool's joke.
Yeah.
You almost got sad.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to see great players out for the rest of the season, or I mean, we only have a few games left, but still.
Yeah. All right, chat. So let's recap the notes that we have, and then let's get ready for the DFS stream. We're still going to talk these games out. If more props develop, we'll be glad to check them out, but then we'll shift focus to DFS pricing and game theory and strategy, stuff like that. So while we do that, let's recap what I had jotted down in my notes. You let me know what I'm missing and what you have. Tomas Satoransky, 6 assists is something we're looking at. Kevin Porter points, Jalen Green points, Davion Mitchell's assists or fantasy points, Damian Jones points, Trey Lyles fantasy points, and then Gundacker special here, Terrence Mann fantasy points, Luke Kennard fantasy points, Isaiah Stewart fantasy points, Nikola Jokic free throws.
I thought you wanted Kennard's real point. I guess either one.
I would say either one, but it's one of those I have a 10-point gap between fantasy points and theirs. So for now, but we'll keep that on a swivel because I'm gonna have to tighten projections more and more, especially now that I got Pistons news to deal with, and we'll see what we end up with. Jokic.
So you need to resweep the Pistons because I saw you have Stewart projected for only 30, which is his top line.
I didn't have Lyles, I didn't have Bagley and Olynyk out.
Okay.
Or Kojo, but that's different.
So would you say so far your two favorite are Mann and Stewart fantasy point?
I think Terrence Mann fantasy points is looking like a Gundacker special.
Okay. And you called Isaiah Stewart. I mean, you seem really locked in.
It seems like Isaiah Stewart should be live for 35 minutes. I want to see. I think Luka Garza's out, but he was out yesterday with an injury, so I imagine he's probably out. And then it's just like livers and all that in the front court. I think I can get him to 35 minutes in a projection. If you get 35 minutes against the Thunder, how do you not get 40 fantasy points by accident? Yeah. So I'll probably lean there, but I'm gonna tweak that between shows here. I'm gonna tweak it, and then we jotted down Fringy, Isaiah Roby, fantasy, DeJounte first half. Anything that anything I didn't have in my notes that you have?
Did you said Jokic free throw, Porzingis assist prop if it drops?
Okay, I didn't have that, but I'll type it.
And Al Horford first half fantasy.
Al Horford first half fantasy. All right.
These are the ones I'm listing. These are
these are just stuff that we talked about. Ones. And oh my god, there's a spider on my screen right now. What do I do,
man?
Bro, this monitor is too expensive to.
I got excited. I thought you swept projections and you got a broken.
Bro, yes. What do I do? I'm breaking my screen. Okay. All right. Well, I'm done. I'm have to move out, start a new life, because I tried to hit it with the book and it's gone. We got to burn the house down. That's the only way. There's the only way. New family time. There's a missing spider on my desk. I have chills.
How big are we talking?
Oh, it was probably a good 3 feet, you know? That sucker was huge.
Oh, man.
It literally looked at me and winked.
Dude, I hate spiders, too.
Chat, we'll be back in a couple minutes. If you're out of here, hit that thumbs up, hit that sub button. I love you guys. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money. We'll drop the prop detector for the YouTube channel members. So hit that join button below if you want to get in that. Jump in the free Discord. All that stuff is in it. Hey, shout out to ODDSJAM sponsoring the stream. Love you guys. I hate spiders.
I hate them so much.
Dude, they're the worst.
I'm so scared of them, man.
The monitor's too expensive to punch. My first instinct was to slap it. But I was like, I can't break the monitor. It's a gaming monitor. I need it to play Fortnite. That sucker was fast. Oh my god, maybe it's one of those flying spiders that they've been warning me about. It's been really windy lately. It all makes sense. Gosh dang it.